and gentlemen, this is going to be our first match. Of course, 0-0 at the top. Don't let the initial overlay scare you. This is the beginning. You have missed nothing. You've come at the perfect time for Kehvn versus Exorari. Things starting off, however, with Kehvn on the attacks. Exorari forced to try and make that early save, and now plenty of counters starting on. This is going to be that period where we see both these players feeling each other out. They do have, like I said before, that little bit of experience against each other. And despite Kehvn definitely being the favoured matchup, it still has been able to be split evenly. So this best of 5 will really help dictate their relationship for the future, especially if Exorari was able to grab this win here. But Kehvn, though, looking to open up that scoring. He will get the first goal off a quick counter-attack. Just a little bit of space is found. And of course, this is going to be a player that pounces on every single opportunity. So 1-0 is the score. And Exorari, within the first minute, already put into a little bit of trouble. We know how much of a difference these kickoffs can make. At the moment, it will be Kehvn who will pick this one up. He's tried to go for some kind of dribble here. Hasn't been able to make the most of it. So Exorari going to make that easy save. But now things are going back and he's on his back foot. He's going to have to make that save off his back wall. And he does well to do so. Kehvn now stealing all the boost here. Now you're left with a very empty orange side. And Kehvn with plenty of space to go for a mechanical play is a position no player wants to be in. I've seen high-level players quiver at these kind of positions where Exorari is not going to be one to falter. That's another save to keep himself in the game. The counter-attack is quickly launched. Kehvn forced to respond. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we are in for a back-and-forth game, because as things are starting right now, Exorari putting up an excellent fight, but Kehvn obviously not going to slow things down. He is going to be the shark in this matchup. He's going to be the one pouncing at every opportunity. When there's blood in the water, he will bite. He will fight through. He will see all those tiny little gaps that even players at the highest level like Exorari won't be able to find. But there is a top corner shot under postage stamp. And that will bring Exorari into the game. 2 minutes gone, 2 goals scored. This is going to be an excellent matchup. And obviously fair play to the admins for getting this kind of matchup together. Because if this first 2 minutes is anything to read off of, we're in for an absolute blinder. Kehvn, though, having space by that wide wall. I said how dangerous of a position that is before for the defending team, and he's looking to show us why. But Exorari, again, no fear, able to make that initial block, and despite being low on boost, will still try and challenge this one. Doesn't have time to go for the corner boost, and Kehvn knows it. And with that knowledge, he will take his second just before that halfway point, and Exorari in a familiar position as he does sit behind. And now let's see how an expert takes a 1v1 kickoff. I mean, that is just a flawless speed flip. A wave dash to follow as well, picking up that wide boost. Exorari, however, will have the time to pick up one for himself. Didn't have initial possession, and now this is his chance to steal it back and maybe sneaking the goal into that bottom right corner. Not quite. Just about bounces off the post, and that one's going to hurt a little bit. But these players, they are used to those kinds of situations. Kehvn put low, but those low 50s will keep him in some form of control. That's all that 100 boost as well. And heading into this play, Kehvn had the less boost, but you can see how good that management is. He's been able to bring himself to equal and then up ahead against his opponents. And now on the ball, flip reset gained. It's close to the ground, but still he's able to manage himself in these tight angles. His aerial control doesn't have to be all the way up near the ceiling, even low towards the ground. That can be a factor in his play. And as a 1v1 player, that extra bit of trickery can really put you in an upper hand. It can add that little bit of spice, add something to the mix. And well, the magician's pulled something out of his hat here with a cheeky demo to throw his opponent off. And obviously he's going to collect that open net. I mean, were there any doubts? As soon as that demo was put in place, that 3-1 scoreline was all but guaranteed. And I love that he even went for a little bit of a pogo there in his celebrations as well, just to show off to the stream that extra bit of mechanical prowess he's got. And maybe we'll be able to see it in regular play, but that's not to be decided by myself. That's up to the players and the situations which Exorari gives him. Speaking of, it's going to be a simple one here for Kehvn. Nothing special really needed. Just completely beats him to that aerial. We'll take it to the corner. And again, he will just tap that one home. Exorari now 3 behind with only 90 seconds remaining. It's a tall ask, especially against the level of competition he's up against. But still, this is 1v1s, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen it all before on the RLduels stream. We've seen it all on the YouTube channel as well, so be sure to subscribe and follow both of those platforms if you want some high-level 1v1, just like what we see ahead of us. Another demo again here by Kehvn. Is the fate already sealed? Yes, it is. Just the same as before. That tone plays from the Batman goal explosion. That tone which Exorari has been forced to listen to 5 times already in the first game, and that's not even counting replays. It's a tough opener here for the orange side, for the lower seed, but one that I think many people were expecting, but we've seen how players can recover. And I think game 2 is going to have to show a lot. Exorari had a time to really switch the momentum there, going for a demo play of his own. Here's a lot more off the ground, but he just couldn't get that initial touch on target. He won't get that psycho either, so the scoreline will remain 5-1. That little bit of confidence doesn't quite land. It would have been an important move, I think, for just the future of this game and perhaps even the series, because if you pull off a play like that one, not only can it be a little bit tilting to the opponent, not that Kehvn's a player who notably loses his head in these kind of show matches, but it's just something good for yourself as well, just that extra bit of hope. Instead, you might be facing a sick Kehvn though, just about hitting that post, and you might have noticed that once the scoreline got really wide and we entered the later stages of this game, how much slower the gameplay become here by Kehvn. He had a plan to pull off, and he's done so beautifully, where he's just going to slow that play down. He's going to grab himself a win, of course, and really give no chances. You're not going to get those opportunities you need to get yourself back into the game. So I don't know what I'm waiting to see here from Exorari. Certainly something different, whether that's higher level of aggression, a little bit more commits, or just working more on that boost conservation, which we know Kehvn is so good at. And we almost saw a double flip reset here on the stream, but a save by Exorari does keep this game deadlocked, as it should be with 20 seconds gone. But he's not out of the woods yet. Kehvn taking that corner boost, and despite being on the back foot, that back flip will be perfectly calculated. That shot, however, wasn't. That should have been 1-0 here for Kehvn. Exorari's gotten away with that one, but you've got to count your blessings and take your opportunities here in 1v1. Kehvn is up, going for that demo play, but a bump just about landed by Exorari to delay the inevitable. Kehvn wraps himself back round, and again, he will take the opening goal. And Exorari back behind in the first minute. Familiar positions, a game 1 which he did not want to repeat. But they must continue the fight. There's 4 minutes left to go here. And it's Kehvn who will stay in possession of this one. Exorari looking to turn things around, isn't able to land exactly what he wanted. Kehvn is up, flip reset, he will take it over. And it's again just those mechanics he shows, that consistency he has when he's in possession of the ball, which is so hard to stop, because maybe he can stop 1 opportunity, maybe 2, maybe 3. But once he launches another 5 or 6 on you, law of probabilities, it's just going to find the back of the net eventually. It's only realistic. And Kehvn is one of those players who loves to be front-footed, he loves to be mechanical, and he doesn't give you much space to breathe, and it is this suffocating gameplay which is really tough to come up against, and Exorari definitely feeling the struggles of that with these first 2 games. But still, 3 minutes 20 seconds left to go here. Plenty of time left to try and make that comeback. Kehvn on the ball, playing in the middle. We do see those 50-50s, and we fill that position again where time does seem to slow down, and just when you thought Exorari would have a chance, 100 boosts on the wall, Kehvn looked low. That momentum he carried was enough to land that demo. Kehvn again, flip reset, couldn't quite land it. Exorari's on. He's coming off a wall here. Plenty of boost, plenty of opportunity. Kehvn's low as well. He'll go for the demo! And it's not on target initially, but surely he'll find the back of the net. With that second touch, it will. And that was the goal Exorari needed to try and launch his comeback. This could be the start of something special. 2 minutes 41 and only 1 goal behind. Kehvn trying to end those celebrations as early as possible here, quick off the kickoff. Wanting to get that 3rd goal to put himself back into that 2-goal lead. Give himself that extra bit of insurance. He hasn't stopped here off the ceiling. Flip reset? No, he'll turn his car around, take it regularly, try and find that bottom corner and miss. And now it's Exorari who has the shot and brings the game back to equal. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is back alive. Exorari has awoken, and now we can understand the history of these two players, why it has always been so close, why we have always seen Exorari putting up a fight. Game 2, let this series begin. Exorari rises, and he looks to continue here with that opportunity, not giving up in the corner, forces Kehvn to try and burn out as much boost as possible, but he's so good at placing the ball in those perfect positions, in those tight situations. However, here he may have overcommitted. He's bailed himself out here with a demo, and now this is his time to attack. Maybe a bump, maybe a sneak under. Sneak under is exactly what he's gone for, and Exorari has done well to hold on. A little wave dash on the wall as well, just to give him that extra bit of momentum, just so he can save that extra little bit of boost for that second touch. And well, rare instance here where Kehvn maybe flipped a little bit early, but he made it look deliberate. Exorari's over, Kehvn with the save. And it is just all these little decisions now which are going to dictate these 1v1s. So many opportunities where people would be looking at that and thinking, surely that's the goal for one of these players. And the other one just about able to make that recovery. It's a tight, tight game, the top levels of 1v1s. One mistake and it could all be over. One fantastic opportunity and you could have your lead. You could have your equality. You could have your 50-50 go in your favour and put you back into that familiar position. Exorari burnt on boost and just made the wrong decision here as Kehvn completely mind games him out. Knows that he's going to be a little bit frantic on his goal line and will probably early commit there with a heavy touch. So he just slams on his brake, gives himself that space, lets Exorari hit it first. And then afterwards, he can just collect that open net. But of course, this match isn't over. And a mind game attempted here by Exorari. Kehvn able to recover himself, and that counter shot will strike. It's Kehvn again, making it 4-2. And now it's starting to look dire yet again for Exorari. It's familiar. We have seen this before. It is unfortunate. But we just see him getting better and better and better. And with how hard he's fought previously in this game, I don't think he'll stop now, even with that kickoff goal here for Kehvn. This is going to be a tough one. We speak about the mental game. We know how much of a factor that really can be in these 1v1s. And this one is going to be the big test for the lower seeded player. But you knew you were entering the gladiator. You knew you were entering the gladiator arena with a lion. And Kehvn, he's been hungry, he's been ravenous. And he's now made it 6, and not many people would have thought at this point that we'd reach this kind of scoreline yet. That's exactly what we've seen now. Exorari has lost this second game. And now he'll probably have to rely on that reverse sweep if he has any hopes. That is, of course, if he doesn't make some kind of divine comeback in this second one. But we're being real now. 9 seconds left on the clock. This one definitely is over. Kehvn has done an excellent job when he was threatened so much by Exorari, and that fantastic player that always does deliver. But Exorari, he's beaten before. Can he do it when his back is truly against a wall? on live stream with everyone watching. This is his time to shine. But things start off here very favourably for Kehvn, as yet again in the opener, he will get himself the first goal of the series. Of the game, sorry. He did get the first goal of the series. He got the first goal in Game 2 as well, and he did so in Game 3. Do you want to know what else he did in those first 2 games? Go all the way with the victory. And if that pattern follows, this is night-night for Exorari, who... It just doesn't feel like he lost 6-2 or whatever that right scoreline was in Game 2. Oh my goodness, Kehvn! And a shot which seemingly came out of nowhere, off the wall, had no flip, but he knew a way to generate power. A pogo, a plan B, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen, into that top right corner. I mentioned it before as part of his celebration in Game 1. I questioned whether he could make that a part of his actual gameplay. And he has done here in Game 3 to try and secure himself that victory. But Exorari doesn't falter. A quick response, back down to 1, and we do continue. Exorari needs to keep this fight going, but he's beaten to that corner boost. Kehvn will connect. He still has 0 boost. He still finds his way through. We are back to equal, and I'm starting to get memories now of what we saw before, where Exorari was able to come back from behind, but still, we saw that comeback happen here from Kehvn, and then he just went that extra bit further. He made it super one-sided, and he's looking to do it again. More mechanical plays being thrown into the mix. This one, flipping it off the ceiling, getting the flip reset, and he is just so consistent. I'm going to say it again, ladies and gentlemen. Please check out the RLduels YouTube channel and just watch any 1v1 of Kehvn. Because if you think this is a one-off, if you think this is a peak for him, it certainly isn't. He goes for these plays all the time, and he is stupidly consistent. He really is one to look for in the 1v1 scene. If you see him in anyone's tournament, be sure to tune in, especially if it's here on our stream. Kehvn, though. Another save, Exorari again being slowed down, but that save will still land dangerously into the centre, albeit I think he'll be first to this one, can cause something dangerous of his own, but that little bit of hesitation is taken complete advantage of here by Kehvn. Flip reset. Attempt to sneak it under, instead decides to go over when he knows Kehvn reads that one, and it's a game of chess between these two players, a mind game to the mind game to the mind game. And still, in this tight matchup, mistakes are left to be made, and ones that could be decisive, not only for this game, but this series, especially if they are in Kehvn's favour. Exorari up, bump attempted, not landed. Now Kehvn, he's got the sprint to make, he has that open net in front of him, and he's landed it perfectly. Before the halfway point of Game 3, what could be the golden game here for Kehvn, Exorari is behind by 2. We've seen him come back from 2 goals behind. We've seen him put it back to equal. But he hasn't yet been able to go that extra distance. Not only put himself ahead, but then to take that victory once that clock hits 0 seconds. Still so much left to be seen here. 2 minutes 30, but we saw 6 goals in the first 2:30. So we know how much action can be squeezed in that time. And we know that the highlights that these two players can create. Kehvn being a player to do a majority of them. Again, going for one of those bump plays, this time a pre-flip attempt. A variation of the many others he's gone for before. This time he'll try and get boost control, but Exorari will slap him out. A 1-goal difference. And we are back to this position again. It feels back and forth. You can have that sense of deja vu. But Exorari looking to make this one something a little bit different. Another kickoff in the favour of Kehvn. He will get that mid boost as well. Exorari will stay close to just get that slightly awkward touch and collect that corner boost. But this time, oh, he's really faltered. He wobbled off that ball, not how he'd like to. He's managed to get away with it for now, but as a result, he does still stand with minimal boost, and Kehvn in possession. And that's fantastic control. Cool, calm, collective. And of course, he's going to pull that one off. 5-3 now. The score. Kehvn looking to secure his win in a sweeping fashion. Exorari back to a 2-goal difference. He doesn't like letting it go to 3 because once it does, it feels like it all starts to fall apart. Especially in these later stages where Kehvn has always dominated in those final minutes. And here he is again in that opposing box of 50-50. It's going to be required here from Exorari. It was enough to delay, but not anything to create something for himself, this one. Again, flying out wide. Big demo here. He's got that net in front of him. Bounced a bit awkwardly, and Kehvn spawned well. But it was enough for Exorari to take the goal. A loop, just enough for the blue-sided player to not be able to catch. And again, we are back within 1 minute 19. This is crunch time for both players. You think this is as good of a position we've seen in quite a while here from Exorari. But still, if it remains like this, Kehvn will take that victory, and it will be as the result of a sweep. Kehvn has Exorari in front, a fairly neutral 50-50, but Kehvn with 80 boosts on the wall. We've seen what he can do before. It's not just hearsay anymore. You've got all the proof in front of you. And he's done it again here, Kehvn. A 2-goal lead with 55 seconds left. This time, a little bit more simple than the others, but a result is still the same. Running away with the game here now. And Exorari, with those alarm bells ringing yet again, but this time they're called from up above. He could be dead. He could have this series over, or he can fight. And that is exactly what he's going to do here. A rare miss coming from Kehvn. A hit off the back wall, which does make it awkward, to be fair, here for Kehvn. Every level of player is going to struggle with those kind of bounces, but still, that was created by Exorari. He's got to go for those higher percentage players. You see him delay this kickoff slightly, trying to put something in his favour. Both players with 100 boost. Kehvn just taking that corner for the sake of it. But now, we've got that game of cat and mouse here at the wider portions of the pitch. Exorari still hunting for the goal, and I think that's going to be the turn. He's found the net. He's found the equal scoreline. And the series not over yet. This game isn't over yet. 23 seconds, and now I'm left questioning if we will see an overtime. A rare slip up. A rare lapse in concentration here by Kehvn. Completely swept up by Exorari. Well, this kickoff in the favour of Kehvn. He is bumped, and it is away from the boost as well. Exorari won't be able to turn things around in time, but he still is in that favourable position. He's got possession. He's got his flip. He's got just a little bit of boost. But Kehvn's block does delay things, and now you threaten, will we see an overtime? Will we see Kehvn going for the closing shot? That touch isn't perfect. Kehvn wants to keep it up, but it will hit the ground. First kickoff of the game, of the series, of the match, in an overtime. And it does go to Kehvn. He's coming off the ceiling. What a way this would be to end it. He does sneak it over. It's going for that top corner. But it's not over yet. Demo's out by Exorari. The open net's in front of him. Kehvn respawns. Will he get there in time? Exorari taking his first victory. Kehvn has been defeated. And now the reverse sweep chances do go up. Can he secure this comeback? He's taken down Kehvn before. And now he's on the road to try and do it a second time in the fashion of a reverse sweep. Exorari hasn't got the opening goal in a game so far, but he will do it in game 4. And it's going to be a flip reset of his own. It bounces beautifully for him. It's pretty straight on, nice and simple, but sometimes that will do the job. And now a 1-0 lead for Exorari in the first minute. Really does help increase the chances of that reverse sweep, which some people will be looking for here. If you're an Exorari fan, if you're someone who wants the underdog heading into this to win. And I think you've got to put this man on your radar if you haven't already. Exorari, regardless of result, has put up a great fight against a Kehvn who will not quit. Back to equal, and those celebrations do fall quickly. Again, we'll see how a master does his kickoff. Straight down the centre, and he will get that mid boost as well. Left chasing here is Exorari, who will take the other corner boost, both of them. So Exorari, quite a desperate situation, but those corners, always still a risk to try and commit yourself to as the offensive player. But Kehvn, fearless in his chances, takes the other corner boost as well, and Exorari really is starved. Kehvn with tight possession, sneak that one over, and it's just Kehvn yet again. He makes it look so easy, and he was in control of that play, well, basically since the kickoff. All those boost skills, all those high presses, even in those dangerous corners, and just being able to be a nuisance, slowing down Exorari and putting himself back in the lead. But it's early phases. We've seen how quickly this series can change. Kehvn could make this an insanely high lead like he's done before as well, just when we thought Exorari was keeping it close. Well, that's exactly what we saw in the latter stages of Game 2. But Kehvn, back on this board, trying to go for the 45, the Morksy, whatever you want to call it, not quite being able to land it. Now it's again back to Exorari, does take that wider boost. It does fall slightly for him, but he'll use that flip to generate that extra bit of momentum. Kehvn with the save, and I must say, this has been a game with some fantastic saves from mechanical situations. I mean, I didn't mention it before, but Exorari saving the double tap attempts from Kehvn. These are two players that are really knowing of what the other players are capable of, and quite simply, it's anything. But sometimes it's those simple plays, yet again, that can find their way over the line. Kehvn with the first touch, I don't think it's quite what he wanted, but just forcing through with his boost to make it awkward here for Exorari, who I think, if anything, was shocked by the kind of substandard play to what we've seen so far in this series. You know, you expect the double flip reset attempts, you expect the ceiling shots, you might even expect the plan Bs, but those awkward touches or those dominant kickoffs, maybe not so much. Kehvn, I said he could take a heavy lead and as quick of a flash, and that's exactly what he's done. 4-1 seemingly out of nowhere, and it's been goals in quick succession. Who's to say he won't score a fifth right off this one? And look, you just see there, he's kept Exorari guessing. He leant in for a second before going for that mid boost. He could have gone for it initially with no real issue. But it's just having that extra bit of control. That's a fantastic flip reset. A good attempt for the dunk as well, but Exorari does survive with plenty of boost, and he'll collect this one as well. Kehvn only delaying what is possible here. That high boost play is still yet to come. Kehvn off the ceiling. That's an overcommit, but Exorari won't immediately find the target. Kehvn has been given some time to get back. The mind game doesn't quite plan out how Exorari wants, but he hasn't given up. Kehvn with the low boost save, and he might get the counter goal as well, but that ball is bouncing high. It's made it just that extra bit more scary, so he's taken his time, and 5-1 really putting this series back into his hands. We haven't seen a goal difference like this for quite some time now. We didn't see it in the last game. We saw Exorari fight back. We saw him able to get those wins. But this is a situation that gets tougher and tougher and tougher. Just when you think you have your opponent worked out, he'll bring it up an extra gear. Kehvn again. Flip reset double! There are no limits! An unlimited player. That's what Kehvn is. Limited boost. Unlimited potential. And Exorari sat down in his own net yet again. How do you defend him? 2 minutes remaining, and it feels like this game is already decided. It feels like this series is already won here for Kehvn. 5 goals. It's just such a tall ask with the performance we're seeing from the blue-sided Americans so far. And there is a realistic chance that this North American matchup gets sent all the way to South America, because there is a Brazil on the cards. And Exorari will do his best to prevent that, and maybe a little bit extra if possible. But it's just looking more and more tough. You see that clock whittling down. It's a situation where the 1v1 becomes a 2v1 because that clock is a huge factor, and it's certainly on the side of Kehvn here. We're reaching that point now where it's going to be a goal required every, well, about 10, maybe 12 seconds here for Exorari to make that comeback. Well, it's dropped down now with that goal. And, you know, you can have that little bit of hope. I think a lot of this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be in those kickoffs. So we'll watch how he does this now. Does he have a trick up his sleeve? This one, he will play it right. He does win that 100 boost. Goes for the initial flip reset. Gets a second to follow. Isn't close enough to catch that one, but still, it breaks past Kehvn. And now a 5-goal scoreline, 5-goal difference in the final minute is extremely difficult, but a 3-goal difference, definitely a lot more durable, and we are going to stay on Exorari's cam, because again, these kickoffs are going to be so crucial, and this one, looking strong. Hold on a minute, Kehvn's really going to have to wrap himself around this one. Mid boost collected by, back boost collected here by Exorari. He will collect mid as well, so we'll just say I was pre-moving that one, but Kehvn still low in boost, making that challenge. Exorari will wipe him off the pitch, but he's got a long distance to cover. We've seen Kehvn make saves off the spawn, but Exorari keeps him guessing. Forces him to slow down by making it look like he's going to commit right. And then throws that shot left. That's a shot with plenty of one's experience, maybe even 2v2. But you're not going to see plenty like that in 3v3. So we do enter that situation again, where Exorari's kickoff is going to be crucial. He cannot afford to lose it, so Kehvn will be the one to mix it up this time and take it to his own corner with a fake. 2 goals look doable, and that impossible scoreline we saw before against Exorari is looking a lot more doable. Still extremely difficult, but Kehvn knows how to bring games back into his favour. And that is going to be 7 with the mind game, using Exorari's desperation against him yet again, like we've seen before in previous games. And that is textbook. Exorari, though, on the kickoff, has to get a perfect flick here. Cannot afford a save. It's do or die, and I think that is going to be it for this series, ladies and gentlemen. Kehvn winning it in Game 4, an 8-4 victory as it stands. Exorari saying GG's in chat. He has accepted it as well, that this is surely game over. It was a fantastic performance, it must be said, from both players. It was an entertaining one to watch. But good things must come to an end, and I will mark this game down as an 8-4 victory. There we go.